Welcome, everyone. Today, we're going to go on a journey to connect with our environment through embracing nature. So, first, find a comfortable spot, maybe have a cup of tea. I have my tea, or a nice big glass of water, and just settle in. Most of us are probably at our computer screens, and it's easy to feel disconnected from the natural world. So, my hope with today's workshop is that you'll feel connected to the natural world and walk away with some ideas for connecting with nature today. So, first, let me introduce myself. I'm Megan Matson. I'm one of the health educators with Healthy Lifestyles. And on the side, I'm also a forest school teacher, and I teach forest school for ages 3 through 9. I've done that since 2021. And we adopt the term or the quote that there's no bad weather, only bad clothing. And I will say that this was not always my motto in my life, but over the last few years, I've really tried to adopt that. I have an 8-year-old, and we try to go outside in all weathers every day, really adventure, wherever we're finding different adventures. And so I really do believe that, and I'm happy to be here today. I'm also a certified mindfulness coach, so I may be weaving in a little bit of mindfulness, and you may find some sprinkles of that throughout this workshop. Nature is so powerful. It has an incredible ability to restore our senses, reduce our stress, inspire creativity. How many times have you been having a hard day and then you take a step outside and it's just like, okay, everything is okay. It helps open our minds to more possibilities, even just brief moments outside. So it's not about spending hours and hours outside. Currently, we have our Park RX program going on, and you can still sign up if you go to Well Steps under campaigns. And we're just promoting 30 minutes outside a day. 30 minutes to go outside, get some fresh air, enjoy nature. So you can still sign up for that on the Well Steps app under campaigns. We've got lots of fun activities. Each week, there's a new mindful moment. There's other videos to just keep you motivated to get outside every day. So here we go. Today, let's go over 7 ways to connect with nature. Let's dive in. Tip number 1 is to cultivate childlike wonder. So imagine yourself as a child. Recall when playing outside was the thing you looked forward to all day long. Just imagine yourself. What did you like to do? Did you feel the grass beneath your feet or the trees blowing in the wind? Or did you notice the vibrant colors of leaves? As a child, you feel nature with every sense, and I notice it. I see children seeing the world with their eyes wide open. They notice things that I wouldn't even notice because they have this wonder and curiosity in them. And so, how often are we as adults living in that same wonder and awe? And can we reintroduce it? Can we slow down and notice the little things? I notice that children are natural explorers. They like to touch everything, and they like to smell it, and they hear things, and they really are curious about every stone or every tiny bug or cloud that's going by. And so I encourage you to do the same. Can you look at the world with enthusiasm and awe? And maybe as you're walking, touch some bark or pick up a leaf and look really closely at the design, how intricate it all is. Something that my son and I love to do are called wander walks. We've done this for a lot of years at this point. And in a wander walk, we go slowly and walk as we notice the little things and I follow his lead. Maybe we'll see a snail slowly going by. So we'll stop and we'll watch the snail. Or maybe we'll see a tree and the branches are making a weird formation and we'll stop and we'll notice that. So just taking your time. I know yesterday we noticed a huge grasshopper and we were watching him for a couple minutes. I like to call this zeroing in. So if you can zero in on one thing and really notice all the intricacies, it will help you to become more aware and present in other parts of your life. I promise. You can also ask questions. So if you've been around a kid, you know they ask a lot of questions. Why is the sky blue? Why do ants like to live all together and live in the dirt? Why do birds fly? All of these things. So when you find something in nature that you have a question about, learn about it, find out about it, read books about it. The more you know, the deeper your connection will be to nature. And it's also just good to learn new things. It's good for our brains and it's good for our mental health. So ask questions, learn new things. Tip number 2 is to engage your senses. So this could be simply going through each of your senses when you're outside and noticing what you're noticing. Something that I like to do is called hiking with your hands. So maybe as you're hiking, you're placing your arms and touching tall grasses, or maybe you're touching the soft moss, or putting your hands in cold water, or touching different rocks. Whatever it is, feeling the textures, moving at a slower pace, noticing all of that. And then you can even taste the food. So if you're focusing on taste, if you know what you're touching and it's something that's safe that can be safely eaten, you can eat that. Yesterday I was up teaching for a school and we gathered all sorts of plants that can be eaten or used for medicinal purposes. Let me think of some. We had mullein, rosehip, serviceberry, starry Solomon seat, hawthorn, catnip, elderberry. So these are just some right up a canyon, very easily accessible to us. And you don't notice them when you're just walking fast. You have to go slow and see all of the different things that are happening. I also want to take this time to plug, we have a foraging walk coming up at the end of September, so September 28th, and we'll learn about safe and edible plants and berries. So you can sign up through the Healthy Lifestyles website through our calendar for that one. Walking meditation. So this is a way to engage your senses. You simply walk slower than normal and try to engage your senses and take in everything around you as you go. And then finally, we have sit spot, which this could be its own tip, but I put it in here with engaging your senses. So a sit spot is a place in nature. It could be in your yard, in a park nearby, on a trail nearby that you can return to again and again in every season. And you usually spend about 5 to 10 minutes there. You can go there daily or weekly and just visit the spot, observe the land, notice the changes. You'll start to develop a bond to that one specific landscape and notice all of the different things that are changing, growing, dying, cycling around. And so it's a really beautiful practice. Tip number 3 is grounding. So grounding is the idea of walking barefoot on the earth. And if that feels uncomfortable to you, you can also touch the earth with your bare hands. And it is a fantastic way to connect with nature. You're connecting with the earth's energy, and it can be soothing and rejuvenating. So you can walk barefoot. But if you, like I say, would rather be sitting and touching the ground with your bare hands, you can touch a tree which roots down into the earth. So those are all things. Grounding has been shown to reduce inflammation, to decrease pain, to decrease stress, to improve sleep, and to improve cortisol rhythm. So lots of benefits to grounding. Tip number 4 is to offer gratitude and care. Nature provides us so much, and it's important that we show gratitude in return. So, taking a moment to appreciate the beauty of the leaves or the shade from a tree and thanking that object for providing that. Picking up litter during your daily walk is a beautiful way to honor the earth, perhaps planting a small garden. We will have a tree planting event in October that I hope you can all come to. We'll be planting trees at the Tracy Aviary Nature Center. And so if you can find community groups to plant trees or grow a garden with, there's no lack of opportunities. Also, I want to just share the idea of leave no trace. So if you haven't heard of leave no trace, it's the idea of leaving a place better than when you first came to it. So that means obviously picking up all your trash, but then you can also pick up others' trash if you're able to do that. I always like to keep a box of trash bags in my car, and then you can just use those if you're ever finding a place that has a little bit of excess trash. I also love the idea of saying thank you to a place. So um, I just recently this summer, in the beginning of August, went and hiked at Tony Grove, which I'd never been to before, but there were just so many wildflowers and it was so beautiful. And I was there with 2 other moms and 3 8-year-old boys, and we were driving away, and one of the boys said, "Thank you, Tony Grove." And then the rest of the car, we were like, "Thank you, Tony Grove." And I thought, wow, I love this idea of thanking a place for giving us a beautiful experience. And so that's just one way to show gratitude, just saying it out loud. I love to just talk about how and amazed I am at all of the different nature things, like just going on and on about it. And so it's a way to offer that gratitude. Just, wow, look how beautiful this is. We're so lucky to be here. Wow, I feel so lucky to have these beautiful mountains and these changing leaves. And I love the rain. Thank you for the rain. So all of those ways of offering gratitude are so important. So, tip number 5 goes along with gratitude and sit spot. Start a nature journal. So, this could be, I recommend having a journal specific for your nature adventures. And you can write in it whenever you're outside and you feel inclined to write in it. So, you can write in it maybe if you're going on an adventure with your family, or you can write in it, just have time where you're offering gratitude for all of the beauty of nature. You can write during your sit spot if you want to write something that day. And in my nature journal, when I do write, I like to write the date, the location, the weather if I know it. And then I've also tried to write what shoes I'm wearing because that usually is indicative of what is going on around you with the weather and such. So you can also track different things you're seeing. You can track birds, you can track weather, you can track if you're noticing a certain type of bug, whatever it is. So always, having maybe some colored pencils, a pencil or a pen, and your journal whenever you're going outside is a great way. And this is a great way also to include your children in the process. So have them be keeping their own nature journal as well. And you can decorate it with, to decorate the front with leaves or any other sort of nature inspired things, or just decorate the front. Okay, tip number 6 is to create art with nature. So my first tip with this is just to get creative. Be creative in what you do. I'm going to share a few things that I've done. And this is just to inspire, and then hopefully we can maybe do some fun events at some point with some nature art. But you can do leaf rubbing. So with leaf rubbings, you just get some leaves from nature, you color over them, and then you'll get some cool patterns with the crayons. You can also use natural dyes. So this is a silk right here that was dyed with all natural dye. And look how bright that is. So you can do onions, red onions and white onions. There's turmeric, there's Oregon grape, there's avocado skins, all different types of berries. There's a lot of different ways to do natural dyes, and you can do them on natural linens, and it looks great. I just also did some flower pounding at a little event, and you just pound the flowers into some canvas, and it makes lots of beautiful patterns and beautiful dyes. We've also done little dolls out of sticks. You can see here, this is just a little stick here, and we cut it off, a little twig, and then made it into a little gnome guy. I always like to do these sun stars at different times in the spring or summer, where you just get 3 different sticks and you weave them together, and then you just use yarn and you go around the outside. Simple, bring in some sticks from nature. Sticks are fun to make different art with, so you can do that as well. And then it's just a reminder to always respect the land. So if you're doing something like foraging or sage bundles, which I have a picture of there, or gathering lavender, make sure to not pick it from one plant. Make sure to kind of vary up where you're picking it from to not overdo one of those plants. And staying on trail, that sort of thing, respecting if there's any signs to say please do not pick, that would be a good spot to not pick. And then tip number 7 is to take the outside inside and the inside outside. So first, taking the outside inside. So bring natural elements into your home. This could be maybe adding houseplants, growing herbs, using natural scents from outside. You could play nature sounds in your background. Even having a nature table to have maybe when people enter, you can showcase various things from nature at that time of the season. And then conversely, do what you do inside, outside. So maybe some of those comforts like having a hot chocolate or coffee outside and reading a book and getting all cozy outside by getting all your layers on and bundling up and enjoying that book outside. Or perhaps meeting with a friend or colleague, having your meeting outside, going on a walk outside. So those are all ways, depending on the weather, you can do family dinner outside, play some games, you can do homework outside, yoga, exercise, all different ideas of things that you're doing outside. So think of things maybe that you could do outside that you're currently doing inside. And then finally, you can read books about nature and outside to give you that feeling of being outside. One book that I just recently read, I really enjoyed, it was called Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Kimmerer, and it's a beautiful book about connecting with nature. There's also a book called Wintering by Catherine May, which is a great book to read in the winter. It helps you appreciate all the weathers. So those are just some, but there's so many books that are set in nature that you can read to help you feel all those right feelings. Well, thank you all for joining me on this journey to reconnect with nature. As a reminder, let's go through all the tips here. Tip number 1 is to cultivate childlike wonder and awe. So slowing down, appreciating all of the little things. Tip number 2, engaging your senses. This could be through walking meditation, senses exercise, or doing a sit spot Tip number 3 is grounding. So, walking with your bare feet on the earth or touching your bare hands to the earth. It's a wonderful way to help your well being. Tip number 4, offering gratitude and care, leaving no trace, offering gratitude to the earth as a reciprocal relationship between us and the earth. Tip number 5, start a nature journal. This could be a journal to chronicle all your adventures, big and small, outside, and just be creative with it. Use it whatever makes the most sense for you. Tip number 6 is to create art with nature. Another way to be creative, be inspired. I shared some of my ideas, but I want to hear ideas that you all have, and I just encourage you to be creative with what you're creating from nature. And then tip number 7 is to bring the outside in and the inside out. So think of things that you're doing inside. Can you do them outside perhaps? And then how can you bring nature into your house, especially as we're nearing in on fall and then comes winter, we're going to be inside more, but how can we bring nature into us? So thank you all for joining. I hope to see you at some of our events coming up to celebrate Park RX and connect to your environment. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.